Class is in session. You need a notebook and a pen or pencil. If you're attached to your iPhone, prop it up on something so you can write. Scientists find alien code embedded in human DNA, evidence of ancient alien engineers. If that sounds strange to you, it means that you haven't watched all of the videos I've posted. I've spoken about the Watchers and the Nephilim several times already. Lizard people thought by some to be aliens, sent by the god Anki to bring a more sophisticated culture to Earth. They bred with the daughters of men, producing the Nephilim. Researchers who worked for 13 years in the Human Genome Project indicate that they came across an amazing scientific discovery. They believe that the so-called 97% of non-coding sequences in the human DNA is nothing less than the genetic code of extraterrestrial life forms. Originally referred to as junk DNA, its function remained a mystery for researchers. Now researchers believe that our DNA is extraterrestrial in origin. After extensive analysis with the help of other researchers in diverse fields, Maxim A. Makukov of the Fezenkov Astrophysical Institute have ventured out and asked if there is a possibility that what we call junk DNA is actually some sort of extraterrestrial code created by an alien programmer. According to researchers from Kazakhstan, our hypothesis is that a more advanced extraterrestrial civilization was engaged in creating new life and planting it on various planets. Earth is just one of them. The team of researchers believes for a fact that the first part of our DNA code was not written on Earth, and according to them, it is verifiable. Secondly, and most importantly, genes alone are not enough to explain the abrupt evolution process, and there must be something more in the game. According to Makukov, sooner or later, we have to accept the fact that all life on Earth carries the genetic code of our extraterrestrial cousins, and that evolution is not what we think it is. The implications of these scientific findings reinforce claims by other individuals and observers that claim to have had contact with aliens that look like humans. I want you to remember that. Human-like aliens could have provided some of the genetic material necessary for human evolution. Researchers in Kazakhstan believe that the human DNA was encoded with an alien signal for an ancient extraterrestrial civilization, and they refer to it as biological SETI. The mathematical code in the human DNA cannot be explained by evolution. Basically, we are living and breathing holders of some sort of alien message that can be used in a much more efficient way than using radio signals to search for extraterrestrial life. While there is no specific passage in the Bible that lists out the 9 orders of angels, there are parts of scripture that speak to an angelic hierarchy. Pseudo-Dionysius, a Christian philosopher of the late 5th century CE, drew on pages from the New Testament, as well as other sources of knowledge, to put forth an angelic hierarchy, which is featured in his book, De Coelesti Hierarchia. The 9 celestial orders of the divine angelic hierarchy. Seraphim, literally translated burning ones. The word seraph is normally a synonym for serpents when used in the Hebrew Bible. According to Isaiah 6, 1-8, the seraphim are described as fiery 6-winged beings. With 2 wings he covered his face, and with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. That doesn't sound human. Fiery serpent, seraph, from seraph, burning, figuratively, or poisonous serpent, specifically a seraph or symbolical creature from their copper color. A serpent, usually venomous, possibly from the burning effect of poison, a flying serpent or dragon. Shea and Demarty and others compare also Egyptian guardian griffins called seraph or Apkallu, on Assyrian Serapu or Serapis, epithet of god Nergal, majestic beings with 6 wings and human hands and voices. Why would they have human hands and voices if they're not human? Thrones or Ophanim, the thrones or elders also known as Erolim or Ophanim. The Ophanim, Hebrew wheels, also known as thrones, are unusual looking even compared to the other celestial beings. They appear as a barrel-colored wheel within a wheel, their rims covered with hundreds of eyes. They are closely connected with the cherubim. When they moved, the others moved. When they stopped, the others stopped. And when they rose from the earth, the wheels rose along with them. That sounds mechanical to me. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. Oh, we have a word meaning that. Chakra is a Sanskrit word meaning wheel or disc. Ophan, a wheel of uncertain derivation. They don't know where it comes from. He caused their chariot wheels to swerve. KJV, their chariot wheels that they drave. What is a chariot? A chariot or vehicle. But in Mahabharat, they describe it as vimana, or a flying machine. These are simple desert people. They don't have a reference for this. Oi mate, I just saw something. What did it look like? It was moving like a chariot, and it looked like a wheel with eyes around it. This was allegedly found in Antarctica. Ancient blueprint of a vimana. This is what the bottom of a vimana looks like, and it looks exactly like a cern. Some ancient mythologies feature legends of men using flying machines. These include the Indian vimana, flying palace or chariot, Ezekiel's chariot, the Irish Rothramach, built by the blind druid MacGroy, and Simon the Magus. MacGroy, meaning slave of the wheel, was said to be an extremely powerful druid, often portrayed as either blind or having only one eye. He is described as wearing a bird mask and having a black shield rimmed in silver and adorned with stars. In these legends, Simon the Magus taught him occult secrets and helped him build the Rochramach, the oared wheel, a magical flying machine resembling a wheel and powered by lightning. So you may wish to look for a film from the 1970s called Chariots of the Gods. Cherubim have 4 faces, one of a man, an ox, a lion, and an eagle. They have 4 conjoined wings covered with eyes, a lion's body figure, and they have ox's feet. Cherubim guard the way to the tree of life in the Garden of Eden. That's odd, because I've seen these creatures in the Assyrian and Sumerian scrolls. And that thing in the middle they call the tree of life. They have this in Assyrian as well, the tree of life, which I think is a Stargate portal. We also have virtues or strongholds. They lay beyond the Ophanim, doesn't say what they look like. Then they've got the dominions or lordships. The dominions, also known as the Hashmalim, regulate duties to lower angels, doesn't say what they look like either. Powers or authorities. They appear to collaborate in power and authority with the principalities. The powers are bearers of consciousness and the keepers of history. Some believe that no power has ever fallen from grace, but another theory states that Satan was the chief of the powers before he fell. I guess that was the first breakaway civilization. How many angels do you think he took when he fell? So you have the principalities or rulers. We don't know what they look like. Archangel. It derives from the Greek archo, meaning to be first in rank. And then you have angels or malachim, the plain angels. They are most concerned with the affairs of living things. The angels are sent as messengers to mankind. Now, as I came into my research, the Nephilim apparently have these elongated skulls, and it's theorized that's why they wore hats or turbans to hide it. And I think it's odd that the Hindu deities also have some sort of tall helmet, so I wonder if they had that skull as well. They just seem to be reincarnated over and over. They call it syncretism. You know, if you decide to change your name and move somewhere else, you're still the same person, you just have a different name. Now, it's theorized and alleged that these beings are the Nephilim or Anunnaki, whatever you call it. They were interfering with different species and mucking about with their DNA, and it seems to be that they want us to know about it now. DNA plays a very important role in how all of this is working and exactly what is happening now. And from researching, it's quite obvious to me that they went to different places and brought all of this with them. The story is there was a flood, and it killed all of the Nephilim. Not all of them. In Sumeria, they talk about a great flood. India has its story about a great flood. The Bible documents a great flood. Where did they get the story from if they all died? They genetically engineered people and mixed their DNA with ours. Why would they suddenly leave us to it? They didn't leave. They're still here, and if they mixed with us, That means some of the population has their DNA. And that's why these famous people are always making reference to them. I've picked it up. I can see the patterns. They're telling you who they are and what is in their bloodlines by imitating them. What they call junk DNA is not that. It's a big lie. Some people's DNA helps them to go through portals. The junk DNA is connecting us to them. They program you to go to hospital when you're going into labor. After baby comes out, they take baby away for a wash. You don't know what they're really doing, but I'll tell you, they test baby's DNA. You just gave birth and you're probably on drugs. You're not going to be looking for suspicious punctures on the baby's body. You're out of it. The baby is alive. That's all you care about. Then they set up your life to where you get harassed constantly, nothing works in your life, you get visited and interfered with by extraterrestrial beings, and I've heard so many people say, why? Why me? Why is it happening to me? Why am I being targeted? It's your DNA. That's why they've delayed removing the lockdown. They need soul people. They need the DNA or soul energy to lift us into their realm. The NCP's already got the jab, but they don't have a soul, so it's useless to them. It is a certain DNA and genetics that can handle and transmute radiation. Here we have the symbol for radiation. What would it look like if you took those two away? Well, it looks like the symbol for Tanit, aka Ishtar, who I said is the portal goddess. That's why these three colors are everywhere. It connects to Ishtar, who is the goddess of war. It communicates that we are in World War III right now. 3 is ruled by Jupiter, 6 is ruled by Venus, 9 is ruled by Mars. Gamma, the third letter of the Greek alphabet, equivalent to the Roman G. That's what the 369 connection is. These 3 planets and also the radiation. Look, Stargate. Right in front of you. The Star of Ishtar and the 3 planets. Which brings us to Ishtar's Gate. It was in Iraq, now it's in Germany. And that is what this Freemason religion is about. The G in the center has light coming out of it. That refers to the gamma radiation. Then up here you have a shooting star. Anu is the sky god. He is the supreme ruler of all gods. His symbol is the horned cap. Anu controls shooting stars called Kishru. Anu is also in charge of the bull of heaven, who can be sent to earth to avenge the gods. That's why the shooting star under the arch is pointing to Taurus, the bull. Now above that is 7 stars, which connects to the Pleiades. This is what Wayne Herschel talks about, the Pleiades system, the Stargate portals, the serpent conduit wormholes. At the bottom you have a shield. It's a bull, a lion, an eagle, and a man, which does connect to Ezekiel's wheels, which was not a wheel, but a chariot or a flying craft. The man down here is making the sign of Tanit, who is Ishtar. It's all about portals and radiation and going through other dimensions.
Yeah, man, you didn't know that? This country is founded. It was founded by people who were in the aliens, man. George Washington, man, he was in a cult. And the cult was in the aliens, man. You didn't know that? No. Oh, man, they were way into that type of stuff.
Uzzah was a son of Abinadab, who fell dead while conducting the art from Girjadiram towards Jerusalem. In his person, God chastised the prevalent irreverence which was intimated in the rude jolting along of the ark by oxen exposed both to sight and to touch, while the law required it to be carefully covered by the priests and then borne by staves on the shoulders of the Levites, who were not to look upon or touch the ark itself on pain of death. He with his brother Ahio drove the cart on which the ark was placed when David sought to bring it up to Jerusalem. When the oxen stumbled, Uzzah, in direct violation of the divine law, put forth his hand to steady the ark and was immediately smitten unto death.
If we were to build a replica of the ark today, according to Moses' instructions, we would have a condenser charged with several hundred volts. One side of the plates carrying a negative charge, the other a positive one. The Bible says the ark bristled with sparks and bright flashes, as in these old paintings. In 1961, a group of Minnesota college students took Moses seriously enough to construct an ark according to his directions. Their instructor, however, had to have the model destroyed because of the dangerously high electrical charge it developed.
The arc is electrical. The human body conducts electricity. You touch something highly charged and you will get electrocuted. Here we have the snake, the acacia tree, and the Ark of the Covenant. This refers back to William's book. The coffin is supposed to be the raising of Hiram Abif. I think it's Osiris being raised from the dead. That's why the serpent and the acacia tree is near him with the ark. The snake in the bucket with the two W's, I think those W's relates to Mem. Then we have these flower things on either side of the arch. I think this relates to the tree of life. It's also called Asherah, who is Ishtar. And I've said before, these are Stargate interdimensional portals. Next one is the cornucopia. I think this relates to the goddess Demeter. The Empress is the archetypical Earth Mother, the anima, the feminine principle Demeter, Freya, and the goddess of fertility, ruled by Venus. The 7 astrological signs at the top of the arch connects to the 7 metal gods. Each of those astrological signs are assigned to a planet. The stones are actually keys, tones, frequencies, vibrations, bells, or rings. These tones are the secret stones hidden from Nebuchadnezzar by Jeremiah, who took them to Tara in Ireland. They power the ark. Tara is considered the mountain of God, as well as the Ilis gateway or Ishtar gate to the etheric otherworld, bringing us to the Celtic god Cernunnos, which connects to CERN. People say that it's called CERN because of him. And on my first channel, I did a video called CERN is a Stargate, uploaded May 31st, 2019. This is not new to me, I've been talking about it. So the god Cernunnos has horns on his head, and Ishtar wears the horned cap. He has these 3 spirals on his chest that connects to Mars, Jupiter, and Venus, and underneath of him is probably a toroidal field. Ishtar, the Anunnaki goddess of war. Uranium is a silvery, radioactive, metallic chemical element used as fuel in nuclear reactors. So if you are identified with war, then you're going to be using chemicals that assist in this. Which did bring this reference here, thank you. Radioactive man. And look at his chest. It's the star of Inanna Ishtar, the portal goddess. Radioactive man looks very similar to the Incredible Hulk because it's about radiation. Inanna Ishtar's symbol is the 8-pointed star, the lion, the rosette, and the dove. So why is it that the Pope released a dove? St. Peter's Basilica is where the Vatican is located. An aerial view looks like Tanit, aka Ishtar, with the 8-pointed star in the center. The Church of Rome teaches that MR equals Maria Redemptrix, and Mary is the gate of heaven, or the ark. From this serpent gate came the Merovingians, which nicely ties into the Heaven's Gate cult. The word gate is shaped like a keyhole, or Tanit, the portal goddess. We have the 8-pointed star of Inanna Ishtar inside of the G. The G is gamma radiation. It's a portal. The word heavens is dark blue and light blue. This connects to the girl on the Denver airport mural with the star map. It's called Heaven's Gate, and Inanna Ishtar is the Queen of Heaven. So these people believe that aliens were going to take them to the kingdom of literal heavens, but it reeks of an operation, so I don't believe that it actually happened. And the badge for these people is a triangle with the shooting star. The word gate is rainbow colored, and this connects to the electromagnetic radiation spectrum. This time connecting us to Lil Uzi Vert. I've already done a video about this person. Young lads do not have tiny skulls and V-shaped collarbones and small shoulders. He's got an album called Eternal Ataki, and apparently the Heaven's Gate cult took offense to this, but you know, it's all the same thing. This is one of the songs, Look What's Up in the Air. It's a Vimana, looking exactly like a CERN. With the short arms and wide hips, purple, magenta, and blue. So he calls himself Lil Uzi Vert. Vert in French means green, and Venus rules the color green. There has been much debate concerning the writing, etymology, and hence meaning of Enlil's name. The Sumerian word Lil, whose Akkadian equivalent is Zakiku, means ghost, phantom, haunted. However, a second tradition comes from the Sumerian king list, where Gilgamesh is once again divinized, but in which his father is said to have been a Lilu. The term Lilu refers to a type of demon associated with women and children. Another variety, Lil-Itu, the Ardat Lili, was a female vampire who slept with men and bore them ghostly children. Lilith is in fact drawn from the Lili, feminine demonic spirits in Mesopotamic demonology. And notice that these rappers all have names like Lil Bow Wow, Lil Pump, Lil this, Lil that. Inanna and Dumuzi is Ishtar and Tammuz. He calls himself Lil Uzi. Look at the word Dumuzi. I can see right through it. The Cathars of southern France, who swapped secrets with the Templars, and the Irish called Ea's pillar of light Amor or love, from the root Mr, meaning bright light. The Greeks called the Atlanteans Meropes in honor of this pillar. When you look at the Pleiades, down there's a star called Merope. The Meropes are the Ophites, the serpent-born children of Ea, who was alternately portrayed as half human, half fish, or half human, half serpent. So when you look at the Vatican, are you surprised to be seeing this? Many people have noticed that it is a man who has a reptilian head, or maybe he is reptilian. And inside of the Pope's building, it looks exactly like a serpent. The stained glass eyes in particular are of interest. I found a bigger picture. This is what the eyes look like. In the middle here is the symbol for Venus. I've spoken about this already. That star is another symbol for Venus, especially in Aztec mythology. So the Venus archetype symbol really has to do with these beings. Some people call them fallen angels or the fallen. I don't care what you call them. And it does connect to the stars. So some people say, well, it's just stories to do with the stars, but it seems to be more than that. Inanna Ishtar is often shown with lions or standing on lions. And the reason is because the constellation Leo is above Venus. Sometimes she is shown with dragons or serpents, so therefore she is the mother of dragons. Most of the time you see her standing on a lion, but sometimes she's standing on a dragon. You can look down there, that's not a lion, it's a dragon. There's Marduk in a boat with a dragon. Murdoch is Celtic and it means prosperous from the sea. So how do you get in Sumerian Marduk, which then becomes Murdoch? The constellation Leo and Hydra as Mushushu with the planet Jupiter. The constellation Hydra is Mushushu. Why are all these planets given Roman names? Because that's the system that we're under, except it is syncretism because it is Babylonian stroke Sumerian. Jupiter, Venus and Mars, and to the left is the constellation Hydra. Marduk's symbol animal, the Mushushu or snake dragon. In the first millennium, Marduk is identified with Jupiter. Of course, Jupiter's right there, and at the foot of Jupiter is the serpent Hydra. An interesting connection here, there was a little dragon in Mulan called Mushu. So we have Mushushu and Mushu. Not much difference there. I couldn't find a bigger picture, but we do see Ishtar standing on a dragon. And she also has a bull next to her because Taurus, the constellation, and for some reason there is a floating head on the side of there. But you do see in front of her wand the three planets, Jupiter, Mars, and Venus. And these people came through portals. Look at their faces. These are not humans. That's not a human face. The power of nature, purple, cerulean blue, and magenta, which looks very similar to Donald Glover's outfit that he wore for the Met Gala. The pyramids, the plasma, reset, energy, it's in our nature. That's double talking. Plasma is in nature, it's around us. And it is the tetragrammaton. In the middle of that is Yahweh, the name of God. So I think that's what they're doing. They're telling you right to your face that this is a reset, that there is likely to be a plasma event or some sort of asteroid event. The blackout, invasion Earth, when the world falls into darkness, who will save you? Nobody, you better save yourself. I'm not sitting around waiting for somebody to save because there's probably going to be conditions attached to that. That's what Y2K was telling you. Prepare for the electricity to go out, probably permanently. Prepare for a shortage of food, which is likely. Have clean water. Might be a good idea to refer back to that event. The blackout, what's the symbol for the A that they're using? It's the Stargate point of origin in Anna Ishtar. Energy, with nothing to hide. Course not, they can't hide it any longer and they have to tell you. Keep your notebook for further references, and your homework is in the description.